in his pants. And George actually liked drama. He thought acting in pageants and plays was important. What was the point in pretending to be someone else when everyone knew who you were anyway? Benny didn't see the attraction. And pictures? Why would anyone sit inside some old tree when you could be outside climbing up one? "Mother's looking for you," his brother shouted at him. Benny grunted. Imagine calling your ma mother. It felt wrong in his mouth, like when you crammed a whole digestive biscuit into your gob and it hit the back of your throat. That was Jessica Shaw. Always different. There was the whole name thing, for example. George and Bernard Shaw, after some old fellow who wrote plays. And she always called him Bernard, except when she was annoyed and forgot to stand on ceremony. Then it was Benny, in tones that would freeze Mercury. The car was by the gate. Dad must be home from work. Time for a daily ritual. Benny hopped up on the wall, landing neatly on his own ingrained footprints. There was a side door between the wall and garage, gloss green with a cracked and peeling centre. Benny let fly. The slither sped to its target, knocking off a few more paint chips. But the latch held. This one was surviving longer than the others. Possibly Dad had rigged it just to annoy him. Might have to do a bit of midnight screw driving. Pat Shaw appeared at the porch. He gave Benny the obligatory glare for whacking the door, but he couldn't hold it. Well? He looked like he was waiting for hospital test results. Benny raised his medal by the ribbon. "Good man," Da said, breaking into a relieved grin. "Here, show me that slab of gold." The two Shaws came together, awkwardly, both grinning like Egypts. Pat chanced a hug, throwing an arm around his boy. It was more like a headlock, but Benny got the idea. "What score did you get?" Benny calculated. 2 goals, 4 points. "Out of how much?" 211. Pat nodded. "So, what happened to the other 7? Benny croaked out a laugh. "So how come you're home?" His father's humour faded suddenly. "Well, Bernard, that is, Benny, we have to talk. It's important." "I never touched him." No. God, I wish that was all." A voice floated through the hall. "Patrick, is it her eldest?" "Let's show your mother this medal," said Pat Shaw, his large hand wrapped fondly around his son's skull. Jessica Shaw wore a lot of masks. 2 silver ones on a pendant, a couple more on hand-painted ceramic earrings, and a gold brooch with 4 tiny cubic zirconia eyes. She collected them. Apparently, the smiley chap and frowning lad represented the yin and yang of the dramatic arts. Benny had made the blunder of asking about that once. Jessica had given him a 15-minute lecture contrasting some characters called Falstaff and Ophelia. It was all very educational. Benny learned not to ask any more questions about drama. Following his dad into the kitchen, Benny lobbed his kit into the black hole underneath the stairs. His mother was seated at the table, a steaming cup of coffee before her. Inevitably, the drama masks were etched into the hand-cast mug. At least Jessica was easy to shop for. George, the little crawler, managed to work the motif into his art lesson every Friday. They had a shelf full of his creations, everything from lollipop sticks to salt dough moulded into the shape of Jessica's favourite symbol. "You won your little game," gushed his mother. "That's wonderful, darling." "It was the county final, ma'am." "What a lovely medal. That'll give you something to remember." Pat Shaw's gaze dropped to the floor. Benny didn't miss it. What did she mean? Remember? "What's the story, Da?" His father put both hands on Jessica's shoulders. A united front was being presented. "Let's wait until your brother gets here." Benny began to get worried. They weren't a group conference sort of family. A terrible thought occurred to him. "Is Grandad all right?" "What?" "Of course. No, Benny. Bernard. It's nothing like that." "What's going on then?" "Be